On October 22nd, we have invited the Katie Mitchell Band to play at the Ice Arena. It's going to be great, and that particular benefit is Sandy Recovery Night. And the Katie Mitchell Band can really, it's perfect to have them because some of their members lived through Hurricane Sandy. We're in Long Beach when Hurricane Sandy hit. And we're going to start with John Condon. John, hate to bring it up, but what are your memories of dealing with Hurricane Sandy?
I rode the storm out of Long Beach, and I can say that it was thrilling, but I don't think I would ever do it again. I knew that there was going to be high water rise. John and I drove around the afternoon before the real high tide hit around 8 o'clock at night. We were there for the first high tide, and John was like, I'm going to go seek higher ground. And I stayed back at Fulton Street. And it was thrilling. At times, it was downright primitive trying to stay warm because the water was 50 degrees. There were people screaming in the street. There were pieces of the boardwalk coming up Lafayette Boulevard where I lived. The best part about that, though, is that 24 hours after the storm was over, maybe not even 24 hours, about 18 hours, John Barton came back from wherever he was, I think in Port Washington were you in?
Yeah.
Port Washington, and comes back to Long Beach just to make sure that I'm all right. He's looking for me the whole time, right? So I'll never forget that because I was sort of shell-shocked. You know, I had this 1,000-yard stare and looking at all the devastation. Luckily, there was no wind on top of that water, or we would have lost houses. But then we had nothing. I mean, everything was just a complete waste. And John Barton comes back and gets me to a place where I can get some food, shelter, and warmth.
A hot shower
For a couple hours. And that's the best part about my Hurricane Sandy experience.
John Barton, that speaks volumes about the type of guy you are and the friendship you have with John Condon.
Yeah, I mean, I know John. We were roommates. We lived in the same house at the time. And one of the saddest things was I decided to bail, and John stayed behind, and him and a couple other friends, they're wading around in this cold water. And in my closet, I had 2 pair of chest-high neoprene fishing waders that would have kept them nice and dry and warm. And these poor guys are out there, and I didn't even think to, tell them that they were there or anything like that. So
we never expected.
Never
expected that type of water rise.
No.
That was just something else. I've never seen anything like it. My father says that Hurricane Donna in 1960 was something like that, with the ocean meeting the bay in the West End, but not all throughout the town. And it wasn't really the ocean meeting the bay.
Not just the town, all of Long Island, everything south of Sunrise Highway was pretty much decimated.
Right.
All the way out.
It was the ocean just taking over everything. Like I always hear this thing about the ocean meets the bay in Long Beach, and this was just the ocean driving on towards East Rockaway, Valley Stream, Rockville Center. It was unbelievable.
And one thing that I know that means a lot to you guys is that in the aftermath of Sandy, it was the musicians that really stepped up doing benefits to help out the community. I know we got together with you and the Benoit Band for a couple of benefits at Sandy and raised thousands of dollars for a lot of good causes. And I think that's really a testament for the musicians and what really Long Beach is all about.
A tremendous outpouring of musicianship, just in any place that we could gather that had an open bar area that we could play. We sometimes didn't have electricity. We would just play, and the few people who stayed in town that had nothing would come and be entertained by us. And then we started getting some other gigs in Forest Hills because there was nothing doing in Long Beach really, and we were like scraping for gigs. There's nothing happening, and we heard the Forest Hills. We had a nice spot that we could go and do an open mic night. So we went to the Irish Cottage in Forest Hills, and I meet Katie Mitchell. And now we're married and we have a little boy. So some nice things happened after Hurricane Sandy, I have to say. My little boy Robbie he's quite a beautiful little lad. Thank God he takes after his mother.
All right, we thank John Barton and John Condon for sharing. And folks, they'll be with us on the 22nd in the Shark Tank when the Long Beach Sharks take on the main team, and the Sandy Recovery Night, the Katie Mitchell Band will be rocking the house.